Hey, hey, Scorpio. Mel, Intuitive Soul Coach here. Excited to bring in your December 2025 monthly reading. All right, let's open up your energy field and take a look at what the month ahead has in store for you, Scorpio. Bottom of the deck, we have authenticity. This is about you being you, unapologetically yourself, right? Taking charge of your life, taking charge of your passions, embracing your own inner fire, and not apologizing for your fierceness. You are very authentic, and many of you have a vision for your future, a vision for the version of yourself that you are wanting to become, and you are actively making choices that help you align with the life that you are wanting to live. So authenticity is quite powerful because when you can sit in this genuine, real, honest, ethical state, it's life-changing. And you are feeling comfortable in your own skin. You're feeling comfortable putting yourself out there, or at least that is where you are headed. More self-confidence and trusting in yourself to make choices that are going to help you in more ways than one. So you also have perhaps an idea. Some of you may have a vision of a goal that you have, and this could lead to something quite profound. So for example, let's say you are wanting to open up a wellness retreat center. It's a vision that you've had and you want it to come together. You're trusting in the process, but at the same time, you're like, Mel, I don't really know what the first step is, or I don't know how to move forward. It feels like 2026 for you is all about bringing your dream, bringing your vision to life. Perhaps your vision has to do with soul tribe, perhaps family, friendships, love, joining a community, feeling like you belong. How many of us have moved or exited a relationship or have gone through something in our lives where we wish we had community? I see that is something you are expanding upon. And even though this is a December reading, I feel like this is a sneak peek into your 2026. And I will be doing yearly readings as well. So keep your eye out for those, Scorpio. Let's dive in. You have key themes playing out for December. Soul Tribe, shared journey. This is a month where you are connecting with family, connecting with friends or community, or making space for these energies to show up, even through volunteer work or helping with mentorship or coaching. I see that you are connecting to a group or a tribe of people, whether this is blood related or not, where you feel supported, you feel seen, all of you, the goofy, zany, voodoo-y, hippie part of you, right? You are able to be seen and accepted for every part of you unapologetically. And that's what I'm getting here. It feels like the people in your circle, the people in your tribe, or that you are calling in, you don't have to worry about holding back parts of yourself. These people are calming your nervous system. You feel safe. Your nervous system feels safe in front of these people here. You have strength, which tells me that hasn't always been the case. You have learned wisdom through hardship. You have gone through dark nights of the soul. And for some of you, many, there have been people who have betrayed you in this soul tribe. Perhaps you've had to rewire your own conditioning. You've had to tell new stories because old ones were very suffocating and stifling. And I see that your strength has grown into self-awareness and compassion and patience. And you're going to continue on this path where you're showing up in a way that you never thought possible, but you're here and you're doing it and you're going all the way. I feel like your confidence is tested, right? And it will continue to be tested, but because you have this learned resiliency through hardship, I feel like there's nothing you cannot overcome. You've gone through so much where it's not that you have put up this wall. And if you have, you've been working on chipping away at that because you are moving towards your best life. And I have a feeling, Scorpio, 2026 is going to be such a profound year for you. I can't wait to dive into the tarot. Now, you have heart's desire. I'm also hearing the name Cody or Coda. Perhaps that is your name. It could be a nickname, maybe a pet's name, but you have heart's desire here. And this is all about opening up that heart chakra. You have passion projects that you want to bring to life. You have decisions that you are making from the heart, from a space of alignment, not fear, right? You are moving into a healthy body, right? Healthy heart, healthy mind. And this is all about a love for what you do, a love for your group, your community, your people, and feeling that support in return because you so heavily invest in those other energies around you that is something you're seeing in return as well. So you have heart's desire activated through all of the highs and lows. You deserve this win. You deserve, I won't even say even a win. It feels that way, but it feels like alignment. You deserve this alignment because you've worked so hard when life has thrown you curveballs and your confidence and resilience has been tested. You have shown up in the face of adversity, in the face of perhaps trauma, in the face of loss. And I see that you've overcome some demons here. You've overcome the devil in more ways than one. So moving into the tarot, you have the Magician. Sharing your personal superpowers with the world is part of your purpose. You have alchemy here, meaning you can turn iron into gold. Is that the saying? Turning iron into gold? You can alchemize anything here. So basically, turning your ideas into reality. The Magician is the creative engineer of life. If you focus your vision, if you use your energy, your power, your magic, there is nothing you cannot do. And because you have the Knight of Swords following up the Magician, you are all in. You know what you want. I feel like you're going for it. And it's right now, it's the essence, right? It's the energy, it's the thoughts, it's the vision, it's the creative power behind the mind. And I feel like you are moving in a direction that is quite exciting, but now you're starting to put those pieces together on a deeper level where you're balancing that impulsiveness, because sometimes we get so excited about something and we're like, all right, I want to do it now. And that's okay to feel excited, but we don't want to be impulsive, right? We want to back it up with thoughtful action. You are someone who is very intellectual. You're very deep, but you are being guided to calculate some of these risks and to execute and charge forward with that determination, with that strength that I see here in your energy. So when the Knight of Swords shows up, this is about saying what you mean, meaning what you say, right? Walking the talk, basically. And I see that you are not letting, again, that devil is showing up here in your outskirts. So it tells me that you have conquered and you faced the devil energy, where perhaps the Knight of Swords is reminding you to not let that devil show up and try to bring in confrontation or argumentative behavior, or even try to bring in impulsive tendencies. Because the Knight of Swords, again, is saying balance that energy up with thoughtful action. Use that intellectual sharpness that you have to go all the way, and you will be successful. There's the win, right? You have the Four of Wands, and the Four of Wands represents the happy dance, right? This is 1111 energy, which is manifestation, achievement, celebration. It's an expansive energy where not only is your well-being on the front seat, but you're feeling harmonized. Your family, perhaps marriage, your home, your foundation is all coming together in ways that you'd only dreamed of, Scorpio. And I see that you finally are moving into a period where you feel like you have the stability and the support instead of feeling like there's been a contradictory energy around perhaps support system. And that's why you do have soul tribe showing up. Like, you know who's in your corner. You know that there are people that support you, and you know that there have been people who've deceived you. But instead of telling yourself the latter story, that everybody is going to deceive you, that you can't trust anyone, you're saying, wait a second. I can trust my intuitive knowing. I have this deep, authentic peace about myself that I'm able to fall back into, my intuition, right? And yes, I can still live this experience, this human experience, but I can always lean into my own intuitive awareness to guide me forward. And that's what you're doing. Now, moving into the energies that are supporting you, you have this 9 of Wands coming through, which is the warrior. There's been resistance. Some of you have felt like you've hit a bit of a brick wall or a glass ceiling in a situation, perhaps around support or career or even your own health. Maybe something along the lines of your home, right? Or your stability in some way, where you have finally got to that point. 9 of Wands. This is determination to persevere. And I see Knight of Swords is making up your mind and saying, I'm not going to give up. I'm not going to let this challenge or this devil energy try to come in and pull me off track when I have a dream, I have a vision, and it's authentic to me. And I'm not going to let anyone come in and steal that from me. And this is you making no apologies, right? Taking charge. You are someone who's magnetic. You're very creative. You are someone who has the ability to strengthen those energetic boundaries of yours, Scorpio, and execute your visions. Yes, execute your visions. And the 9 of Wands is perseverance even during those uphill battles. Why? Because you have this spiritual strength backing you up. You have demonstrated true grit even in the face of exhaustion. And I feel like you are prepared to go all the way. So maybe this is something that you've only imagined. Maybe you've wanted to quit drinking, or perhaps you've wanted to get in shape or feel healthier. Maybe you've always wanted to travel to Bali. Maybe you've wanted to write that book, open that retreat center, go back to school, fall in love, have a family. Whatever your vision is, whatever you want to expand upon, maybe it's something I already mentioned here, you want it to grow. I see that your dream is manifesting here with that Magician. And because you haven't given up, your confidence is starting to grow. Even at times, I do see that your confidence has been tested and you've taken some hard knocks, right? Your solar plexus, it feels like a sucker punch and you're like, oh, this is never going to happen. Or I'm going to continue hitting this brick wall. I'm going to keep getting this rejection, or I'm going to keep, but it feels like instead of letting yourself simmer in that, or boil, I should say, boil in that energy, it feels like you are telling yourself, wait a second, what do I need to do to bring in this harmony? 3 of Cups, right? 3 of Cups and the 8 of Wands showing up here. This is fast-paced manifestation. This is, some of you, it's travel. I am getting like air travel or meeting up with your family. And this could give you that burst of energy that's been missing, because spending time with the people that we love, spending time with our parents, if your parents are still alive, if you have family, adult children, younger children, friends, supportive community is so important to our well-being as a humanity, right? It is so good to be able to connect to others and even strangers. A smile in the grocery store can go a long way. We don't realize how we can touch people's lives. We're not walking in their shoes. We're walking in our own. So be kind. And I see that you are getting a big hit, right? It feels like a big dopamine, big serotonin rush when it comes to connecting with the people that you love, and it is helping you. So I see that you're not letting the negative energies or the naysayers or the negative Nancys bring you down. If anything, you are putting up that energetic boundary and saying, I want harmony here. Three of Cups, social gatherings, friendships. This could be celebrating and, a shared sense of harmony here instead of feeling left out or instead of letting that betrayal overwhelm you. I feel like it actually gives you this newfound breathing room. It's like your nervous system settles into more of safety and security here. And you do have people who share a similar vision as you, and the people that don't, you don't have to get in such a confrontational energy with them, even though I am getting a little bit of that fire here, which is interesting. Well, there's the fire, the Eight of Wands. It feels like you can agree to disagree, or you can talk about other things, or you can still have a really beautiful time without letting something come in and tangle it all up. So just be mindful of that. It looks like your heart is in the right space. You are a lover. You are not wanting to fight. You'll fight if it's absolutely necessary. You'll fight for what you love, but I feel like it's releasing and letting go of the ego. It doesn't feel like it's a battle of the egos here for you. You're rising above that, or you've learned lessons around that where you don't like that feeling. And now it feels like when you are fighting for something, it's because it's a strong belief of yours and you're not going to give up on a belief or a dream that you have. So let's move into the bottom of the deck here. We have the Five of Pentacles. And this is interesting here because we don't have any pentacles or coins in your reading today except the five. So for some of you, there has been a struggle when it comes to perhaps finances or bills or debt or some form of hardship, maybe even health issues. But I see here that there's an energy of being humbled or receiving some sort of help, or perhaps you are helping others out this month if you are able to do so, or you are receiving assistance and not letting pride and ego get in the way, because sometimes we got to do what we got to do. And I see here with this Five of Pentacles that you may have been around people, or maybe in your family dynamics, or someone at some point was indifferent to the suffering of others, or they weren't fully able to comprehend some experience that you had gone through. But you have this strength here, and it just feels like you are not taking something as personally, or not letting that story become the way in which you live your life. You're not living based on someone else's stories of what they told you or what they have projected onto you. That's where I see you rising above. That's where you're taking flight here. You see this beautiful, colorful little birdie sitting there in this white storm, this snowstorm blizzard, right? You have the ability to spread your wings and live a colorful, beautiful, loving life, even though there have been some hardships for you. Now, moving into career, finances, and money. Some of you have gone through a loss. You have the Coffin here. Perhaps there were bad investments. Maybe some of you went in debt. There may have been bankruptcy, financial challenges, or you may have had to look after a loved one. Maybe you were their caretaker. This has to do with a situation ending, and you had gone through some challenges, again, with that Five of Pentacles. Maybe it was a health issue, or again, some sort of indifference when it comes to the well-being of workers. And maybe you got caught up in that cycle and you're like, I just can't do this. This isn't my tribe. I have to listen to my heart here. Otherwise, I'm not going to compromise my integrity. But I also see like you were in that in-between space. Because like I said, sometimes we have to do what we have to do, but that doesn't have to be your forever. And I see that things are looking up, even if they're moving at a slower pace for you. Moving into 2026, it feels like you're still going through some of the manifestation, like those ideas, those visions, the opportunities are out there, but the actual physical manifestation may take about 4 to 8 weeks. 4 to 8 weeks here, okay? I'm also getting that there will be a very beautiful outcome here. So for example, if you are looking for a job, it does look like you will be hired. You're going to be doing the happy dance, Scorpio. Or if you are waiting on some sort of financial aid, financial assistance, or a new income source or opportunity to grow, I definitely see that there is movement here. And it feels contradicting because you have this fast-paced energy and then you have the turtle saying slow. But remember what I said with this Knight of Swords. The Knight of Swords energy can sometimes be impulsive, and that can be your racing thoughts as well, because we want things in the time that we want them, especially when we are freaking out that we need to move forward, right? We're in that 9 of Wands, and I see that it comes in divine timing and you are going to be okay. Try not to let that mind of yours get overwhelmed, because the Knight of Swords is thoughtful action, and it feels like you may be waiting to hear back from someone about a potential offer that you're trying to manifest. And 3 of Cups says they want you to be a part of their team. If you are a business owner, I see that you are branching off. You are creating a sense of stability or alignment where you get to go at your own pace. But I feel like you're navigating life with a calm sense of confidence, not a fearful, fearful vibe that you're putting out into the world, because we're constantly manifesting each and every day. We can use our power for good, right? We can focus on the higher vibrations, and we can also use our power to manipulate or to control or to let fear control our manifestations, right? And because you have the heart center here, I just feel like you are in alignment with what it is that you are wanting to create, because you have authenticity. Scorpio, this is your vision and your vision alone, and no one is going to steal that from you. The slow says here, you're making slow progress, right? But you're getting there. And you may actually hit a bit of a spurt. So it feels like, when you are a kid and you go through growth spurts and it feels like you're not really growing, and then you come back from summer break and you've just skyrocketed, or, you have outgrown your pants and now you're wearing floods, right? It feels like a huge growth spurt really takes off within the next 4 to 8 weeks where, it's been slow, 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 and then boom, boom, boom. Everything happens kind of at once. So this is not the time to procrastinate, but it is a time to slow down, just to realign that nervous system if you have been feeling like you've been in survival mode. That's where the good friends, the good community, good family comes in and gives you that boost of momentum or energy that you need. This could even be a coach, a mentor, a teacher, a therapist, a guide, someone who is able to connect with you. Now you have growth showing up here. Expect good money flow, a raise, or a job offer. Beautiful confirmation of what was just said. It's important to unlearn, to grow as rules continue to morph and change. This is open to adapting to the new ways of living, new ways of being, new systems that can help you work smarter, not harder. And it can be uncomfortable to move into new systems. I remember working in the corporate world, and I worked in real estate and marketing, consulting, and we ended up having this whole new system come in. It was a huge upgrade from our old system, but I remember thinking, oh, this is going to take so long to get to know this new system, because we know the old one like the back of our hand, right? Our nervous system is hardwired for comfort. So immediately we are thinking, I want to fight or flight. Like, I don't want this. I don't want change to come in. This is going to take forever and it's actually going to slow me down. All of those fear-based energies that come with change. But then once you start getting used to the new normal, right? The new systems or the new way of talking to someone in your relationship, or the new patterns that you are, rewriting, or the new thought processes that you are, programming. Once that becomes your new normal, that becomes the default. And then you're like, wait, this is a piece of cake. And not only is this easier, but it is more efficient. And I see that you are using efficiency here in your work, and scalability here as well, where you get to maybe scale back on some of the things that have been causing nervous system distress or anxiety here. And I see that you are in the process of still healing with that Five of Pentacles. And some of you are finding, well, a lot of you finding ways to continue growing and manifesting a better financial future for yourself, for your family. So don't lose sight of the star, right? I'm getting star energy here. So the star energy is don't give up on your hopes. Don't give up on your dreams and take actionable steps. Use the resources here to take action, not just dream about it, but, reach for the dreams. So I see a movement here when it comes to career after maybe a period of a little bit of slowness. There could even be a holiday function or gathering at work. You could win something that is very exciting. Maybe this is a TV, or maybe this is a boot warmer. I mean, whatever it may be for you, I feel like there is a win or there is a bonus, and it feels like it's better than nothing. And I also see that some of you, there's going to be a very large win as well. If you have a company that throws holiday parties, I know I remember our company did that when I used to work in the corporate world. But I also see that if you are, if you're looking for employment, I see that there's going to be some interaction around the holiday time, around maybe interviews or coming in for a second interview or maybe a call back, because it does feel like 4 to 8 weeks are significant here for positive change. All right, let's look at relationships and family and soul tribe. We have the wedding rings here. So you may hear news of someone getting married. Perhaps you are getting married. There may even be some connecting energies with union or soul connections this month. And if you are wanting to manifest love, you have the beautiful marriage card here, the soulmate 1111 with that Four of Wands. So I definitely see that you're bringing something to life, and there could be communication between you and someone new, or communication between you and a loved one. And it feels like you do have this harmonizing energy. Instead of feeling like you've been at a disarray, it feels like you're coming together. And there's devotion, there's love. And I'm also getting animal. Again, did that come up earlier for you? So some of you may have pets, you may have animals, or you visit a family member who has a pet or an animal and they love you. They love you, Scorpio. They come right up to you. They may spend all evening curled up in your lap, or this could even be like a tortoise or a bunny or an iguana. It doesn't have to be just a cat or a dog, although for many of you it might be. But I am seeing here an animal lover, or someone who maybe isn't around animals much, like that animal really gravitates towards them. All right, so we have dragonfly. There's that lighthearted energy and adapting to change instead of resisting it. That is so difficult for us humans to do, because change is the only constant. Change is the one thing that's always going to be there. And we tend to look to the future for predictions, right? Because we want that sense of stability. We want that sense of security. We want to know how things are going to play out. But I have a feeling you are being guided to trust in your inner vision, trust in that beautiful inner voice of yours, because change is here and things are coming to light for you, meaning you're having a lot of aha moments. You're having a lot of mental breakthroughs. You're having a lot of ideas and thoughts that are leading you towards your curiosities. Maybe your curiosity with wanting to get to know someone better, or your curiosity about expanding a business, or maybe moving across the country, or settling into retirement, or reconnecting with a friend that you haven't spoken with. It feels like your ideas and your thoughts are magnetic at this time again. So embrace that inner fire. Bring your life to a point, or I should say, bring that magic back into your life, because that's what 2026 is all about. And when it comes to love, I feel like you are healing from something that may have been very difficult. You have the backstabbing card here. Now, I don't have any of those powerful no, I shouldn't say powerful, but the Ten of Swords or the Devil, even though the Devil was trying to sneak its appearance in, I felt that energy on the cusp. So maybe the Devil is a person in your life. It could be someone who you've actually learned a lot from, because this person was very challenging, very difficult, maybe even had a lot of shadow work that they needed to work on, or that may have even reflected some of your own inner wounds, perhaps childhood wounds or your own fears. You may have repressed who you were in order to show up in a way that wasn't fully honest. It wasn't real. And maybe you've numbed. Maybe there were addictions or attachments, or again, you felt like you were giving away your power to this devil energy. And I see that there's been a lot of heartbreak. There's been a lot of healing, deception, and you may have even felt like there was a shocking attack or shocking news around a situation. But I see that your beautiful heart is opening up and you are moving towards that vision of yours. And even if that vision doesn't look or take the shape of the original vision that you have, Spirit is saying, don't give up on those dreams, because they're unfolding for you, maybe just not in the way that you expected. Sometimes some of God's greatest gifts are unanswered prayers. It reminds me of that Garth Brooks song where, it talks about a guy who wants to marry his high school sweetheart, and he runs into his high school sweetheart years later with his wife, and he realizes at that time, some of God's greatest gifts are unanswered prayers, because then he wouldn't have met his wife. So, sometimes things don't work out, but they actually beautifully, divinely work out exactly in the way that they are meant to. So let's look at the chakra that is coming through. You have the third eye chakra, which is connected to your own clairvoyance, your own inner vision that you have here at the bottom of the deck. This is your inner truth. This is about you getting honest about yourself, honest about your life situation that you may be going through. It's all about mindfulness and your thoughts. And your message, Scorpio, is this: I am aware of my thoughts and I ask myself, are they uplifting? Are they true? I do this because I know that my thoughts significantly affect my mental, emotional, and physical health, and because I know that my body believes everything that I believe. I am not in control of all situations that come my way, nor am I in control of what others do and say. However, I do have free will as to how I respond. I choose to respond to all situations from an enlightened position rather than just reacting. Absolutely. And I think I mentioned that earlier, like rising above the fray in some way, like not letting that devil energy come in and try to come in like the Tasmanian devil real quickly, right? And then leaves everything in a destruction. It's like you're not responding to that energy any longer if you have in the past. And lastly here, you have the medallion as your archetype. So let's take a look and see what the message here for you is in the guidebook. All right, Scorpio, the medallion is the amulet, the talisman, the heirloom. The passing on of sacred objects is an ancient ritual within families, between lovers, and in tribes across the globe. We gift jewels, treasures, keepsakes, and mementos of all kinds, some of great material value, others that hold emotional resonance, and still others with both. Yet when these gifts are bestowed upon us, it is important to recognize that they may bind us to an unspoken agreement or promise. When the medallion card appears, be aware of how the objects you hold dear may be embedded with unconscious energy or expectations. Materials hold consciousness, and it's time to reconcile the vibration of the objects around you. What do you covet and why? What do you collect and why? Is there an object you have held on to for years that you are ready to release? Perhaps it is time to reach for the medallion that aligns with your deepest values. That last sentence, right? The medallion that aligns with your deepest values. That was one of the first messages that came through for you, Scorpio. This can be about upholding tradition. It can be protecting, and it can be honoring all that is sacred. When it's showing up as the dark, it can be burdensome inheritance. It can be habituation. Imagine if you and your family, school, or social group had a crest, emblem, or amulet. What would it be? And if you can, draw it. Do you believe that objects contain supernatural properties? When have you experienced this to be true? Let me know in the comment section. I believe that energy can be placed into objects. I forget what it's called when you have an intuitive hold an item and they can get information off of it. I don't work that way. I have used, like I have touch pictures and items, but a lot of my information comes in clairvoyance, claircognizance. So there's that knowing. But the medallion here, maybe some of you have maybe something that has been subconsciously draining your energy. Maybe that's the devil on the outskirts here. This could be a piece of jewelry, as it says, or it could be something in your home. I am getting here cremation, ashes, and not that that's a burdensome. I mean, maybe some of you want to have those ashes, but I'm also getting here something from the past that you may be wanting to, as it says, reconcile. You're wanting to maybe let go or release. Now, it doesn't have to just be a talisman. I know that this is your archetype, but I feel like this also has to do with perhaps an addiction, an attachment. It can be, a belief or something that you want to say goodbye to and step into 2026 with a new chapter, with a new story. So do pay attention to the stories, the self-talk that you are telling yourself, the thoughts, going back to that third eye chakra. So overall, you have some really beautiful changes coming in, Scorpio. You are moving into that heart space and activating your visions, right? You are bringing your dreams to life with this magician. You are focusing on what it is that you want, but be mindful of those thoughts because we're always manifesting, like I said. So manifesting from a place of alignment is way different than manifesting from that sneaky devil that's been trying to show up in your reading all along. So that is what I have for you, Scorpio. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you enjoyed the message, please give it a thumbs up. Feel free to share, like, subscribe, and hit that bell. And if you are interested in a personal reading or signing up for the newsletter, you can find that information again below or by visiting intuitivesoulcoach.com.